I was one of the early evangelical leaders that was invited to Trump Towers to discuss with him. It's about 20 or so leaders that were there. And it was in that meeting that I began to discover the difference between Republicans and Democrats. As a Black man in America, the majority of us are Democrat Party supporters because of the civil rights movement and the things that happened prior to what Dr. Martin Luther King and how the civil rights movement was worked hand in hand with the Democratic Party of Lyndon Baines Johnson and John Kennedy before his assassination, the voter rights bill, the civil rights bill. And this is how all of this came out to be. And the Southern strategy of the Democratic Party, which is not so much because they were pushing for Black advancement. It was the Republican Party that pushed for Black advancement. But the Democratic Party took advantage of Dr. King's name, and they took advantage of the Southern strategy, the large population of Black people in the Southern states who were never really allowed to vote. And that's how they were able to push these initiatives through. And in some of these Southern states, like Georgia, like Alabama, Mississippi, that have large Black population, they were able to communicate with that audience. And that's how Black people in general become Democrat because of the civil rights movement. Now, let's be clear. The Democratic Party of Dr. King is not the Democratic Party of today, of Joe Biden. It is not the Democratic Party of Barack Obama. These are two separate entities, and they do not go hand in hand. The Democratic Party today is evil. I can call their evil. Their policies are evil, and they come from the gates of hell.
Do you think that many of your Black brothers and sisters actually know that Abraham Lincoln wasn't a Democrat, it was actually a Republican?
No, they don't. And they don't know that even Dr. Martin Luther King was a Republican. Most Black people during that time period were Republican. They were friends with Richard Nixon, the vice president at the time, who was running for president. They were not friends with John F. Kennedy. They were friends with Richard Nixon because of the advancement of Black people through the outreach of the Republican Party. And hence, that's why the Republican Party fought to free slaves. Hence, that's where the 13th Amendment comes from. People got to go back and read their history. Representative Alexander Stevenson, who led that charge, who was considered a part of the radical Republicans who was wanting to free slaves. It was the Democrats, the Dixiecrats, who fought it tooth and nail to keep Black people in chains.